You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. We are live on a Monday, November 21, 2022. How the hell are you? You made it past the weekend and you're here. I just can't tell you how much that means to me. Monday. Let's do it today. Today's show, we will be talking about everything. Pretty much in an hour, we're going to talk Phil Schneider. We're going to talk monsters, aliens, UFOs, and Into Thin Air video. Yeah, we got a good show for you now. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to pack it into about an hour. And then 2 hours from now, just under, Third Phase of Moon has an interview with Tim Burchett coming up right after this show. So we'll probably go about just over an hour here tonight. We're not going to go at 2 full hours because I got stuff I got to do too. But that's okay. Some shows are a little shorter than others. Some are a little longer. It all averages out to 2 hours a night. That's all that matters. So I'm glad you're here. Let's get the show started with the little roll call, everybody. Dre and Glow. How's it going, Mr. D? Welcome to see you. Mr. G, sorry, Mr. Glow. Welcome to the show. Hey, little buddy. It's Gilligan, everybody. Hey, Skipper. Hey, little buddy. Welcome to the show. Carnundrum. Brookes, welcome to the show. Den Bub, welcome to the show. Peter Hinckley, not junior, but senior, welcome to the show. Hellfire Studios, Rich, new lungs, balls, cough. I don't know what that means, but welcome to the show. I think I know what it means. Is it taking a little toot out of my little thing? We will do a celebratory bump. Born to Fly is here. Welcome to the show. Joshua Morphew with a new picture. Welcome to the show. What do you say, Jammer Travels? Welcome to the show. Hey, Ventril. How you doing, eh? How's it going in Italian, huh? Diane Boss is here. Welcome to the show. Yes, he do. Wiles. What do you say there, little lady? How you doing with your smile in your face? Welcome to the show. Tony Introvert is here, everybody. He got the memo. Goob. Goob. Goo, 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 goo. Gooby, gooby, gooby. Welcome to the show. Nathan Allen, welcome to the show. Nathan Nitsky, Nathan's Hot Dogs. Carl Ann, welcome to the show. Good to see you in your little office. I see Coral Ann in a little tiny square, but not her, but her picture. David Wilcox is here. What do you say, Mr. Cox? How you doing today? Welcome to the show. Sam O, Goofonian Rockstar. What do you say there? Snap ahead. How you doing? D's House Genetics. Welcome to the show. What do you say? How do you be? Who's at the front door? David Pearson just snuck through the door. Bob Birkins, you got a shirt on? No shirt. Heather Birdie, welcome to the show. Hey, by the way, I forgot. I don't know if I said thank you for your super chat last night. I think I missed it, but thank you for the super chat last night. Mucho gusto generoso, and I forgot. I don't know if I did. I can't remember, but I meant to say it, and I don't think I went back to it. Brian L., welcome to the show, and everybody else. If I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we got a show to do. Gary Henninger and Diamond Dog and WAF 007 just snuck through. Welcome, guys. Metalhead, what do you say, Eddie Mendoza? Welcome, guys. Bernie Muro and Wizard. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hola to you. Hey, we got a lot of familiar faces tonight, right? I don't think I saw any new people popping in yet. Uh-oh. Hold on there. Okay, there we go. Woo-wee! Sometimes getting that first video set up is all you need to throw the show out of whack. All right. I'm gonna get your palate wet. You want to get a little wet? Who's this guy? Jammer Travels throwing down a $2 super chat. He says, a gush all over ufology, he did. Thank you very much. Jammer Travels throwing down the first super chat of the night. You know what that means? Thank you, Jammer Travels, for the $2 super chat. That good. All over everybody else. Not that way, but thank you very much, JT. Appreciate it. Mucho gusto generoso. I don't know, maybe I am dying. Maybe I am. Nah, that'd be great. Just get it all out in one day, right? So, and we have body language tonight. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do all this in 69 minutes. I don't know. Into Thin Air. Good friend of the show, the channel Into Thin Air, has been keeping up on the earthquake phenomena that's been going on around the globe. And we've got another report about, the sun, the earthquake. Things are not changing, but things are changing all the time. As much as things change, they stay the same. That's what I was saying. All right, let's take a look at this. And then maybe I got a video on Dulce. Is it Dulce? Is it Dulce? Is it Dulce? I don't know. Go.
All right, so remember that earthquake, that 5.4 that struck West Texas, which was actually upgraded from a 5.3 to a 5.4? Keep in mind this took place while a giant coronal hole was facing the Earth, or at least a little south of the equator of the sun, while articles being released just minutes ago are all saying that this thing caused damage hundreds of miles away. What? Oh, we are definitely going to be breaking this down right here, right now. Let's go. My friends, welcome back. It is November 18th, 2022, and you are looking at the exact epicenter of where this earthquake took place. Now, very quickly, being a YouTuber with a voice is hard enough as it is, but being a YouTuber without a voice is basically impossible, and that's the situation I've been in. I have not had a voice in over 2 weeks now. I've been all sorts of sick, and by all sorts, I really mean all sorts. But we are back, and we are here to talk about this 5.4 earthquake that was actually upgraded for once on the USGS from a 5.3 to a 5.4. We're going to zoom into this area because it's pretty remote, and you would think an earthquake that takes place in a remote area would not cause too much damage around the surrounding areas, at least within 100 miles with this size earthquake. But we're in a different area of the world. This is Texas, and this was a shallow earthquake. In fact, if you look over here in the bottom left corner, it was 6.9 kilometers in depth according to the USGS. Now again, this is the USGS, so maybe it was even a little more shallow. Who knows? But the point is that in articles released today and just overnight last night are quite literally saying this thing caused damage in San Antonio, Texas. Now, for those of you that don't know where San Antonio, Texas is, we're going to show you exactly where. Here is the epicenter of the earthquake. I'm going to draw a line all the way to San Antonio, way over here in basically southern Texas. Over 300 and
that's no way, man. No way. How could that be? That means Phoenix, Arizona would have felt it. Las Cruces, New Mexico. Chihuahua. Lubbock. They should have all felt it. Why is it San Antonio feeling it? That's bizarre.
50 miles away. We're looking at 361 miles, and that's based off of the fact that I just drew an average line right here, but that is absolutely insane. Now, before we get into where I believe the sun played a part in this situation, I'm just going to read you the latest updates on what's going on here. And this won't be easy because my voice is just coming back, but here we go. A strong earthquake that struck a remote area of the West Texas desert caused damage in San Antonio, hundreds of miles from the epicenter. University Health said Thursday that its Robert B. Greene historical building was deemed unsafe because of damage sustained from the quake, which hit on Wednesday in a remote area near the New Mexico border. The historical building is more than 100 years old and has been closed off for safety reasons. The quake initially had a 5.3 magnitude but was revised upwards to a 5.4. The earthquake's epicenter was about 23 miles or 37 kilometers south of Mentone, a tiny community about 350 miles northwest of San Antonio.
I gotta be honest, that just seems a little bit too far, doesn't it? How could a building that far away get... I don't know. It is strange. We're only halfway through the video, and yeah, I'm just seeing if there's... Yeah, talking about the sun and stuff. The sun may have some influence on the Earth, right? Doesn't it? I don't know.
Antonio, 350 miles. It was one of the strongest earthquakes on record in Texas and hit in an area known for oil and gas production. Now think about that. Think about the word fracking. If you don't know what that means, go look it up. The U.S. Geological Survey said research suggests that a 5.0 magnitude quake that struck the same West Texas area in 2020 was the result of a large increase of wastewater injection in the region. So, in a nutshell, what they're trying to say is that due to the large amount of fracking, which is the production of oil and literally shooting wastewater into the ground to then uplift oil.
Wait a second.
And then we see these rigs all the time everywhere. They're all over the United States, but particularly West Texas is a huge oil production area. They are saying that because of this, that the 5.0 earthquake in 2020 and also this 5.4 earthquake, which was probably closer to a 5.7, was caused by the fact that they actually think that the ground underneath West Texas is being changed because of the fact that we keep fracking in these areas. Now, before I let you guys go, it's just a theory here, but we have been talking about the sun being the cause of earthquakes. In fact, it's being studied and actually being proven that the sun does in fact cause earthquakes due to solar wind hitting the Earth's magnetic field. Now, you're looking at November 16th right now, and see this giant coronal hole right here? Just because it's south of where the Earth lines up with the sun does not mean that this did not cause solar wind to hit Earth. In fact, it did. Now, if I move one day forward to the 17th, we could see that it basically moved right underneath Earth. And then as we move into today, you could see that we are dead center or south center of this giant coronal hole. This thing is absolutely massive. You don't really see coronal holes this big that often. At least we haven't in a while. So it's absolutely possible that the solar wind hitting the Earth's magnetic field, in fact, we just got through a solar storm and about to go through another because of this coronal hole, could be the cause of this earthquake. And in another video, I'm going to show you guys that during that 2020 earthquake, we were also dealing with a high amount of solar wind. So this could be a coincidence.
Could be a coincidence. That's into thin air. I'll put the link to that video in the show description when the show ends. You know, last week, I was having all sorts of issues with my phone, with my internet. And I kept thinking, oh, maybe it was, you know, the residual effects from the Hurricane Nicole that came by, or tropical depression in my area. But apparently it had to do with the solar windstorm that came from this coronal ejection mass hole, black hole. Is that what it is? Black hole? Not a black hole. Hey, every now and then you got to go over the solar weather. You got to go over earthquakes, and Into Thin Air does all that. And really appreciate him allowing us to use his videos. You know, there's several more we can do during the week. So interesting. So if you notice anything strange with your electronics, it could be the solar winds. It could be you. Maybe it's you. It's human error. It's not me. All right. Thank you very much. And trust no one. Trust no one. All right. I always like a good bedtime story. When I was a kid, I don't ever remember being read a story before I went to bed. I just don't remember that happening in my life. And I think it's because I didn't like them. Or maybe because nobody in my family knows how to read. I'm kidding! But I always like stories that have to do with aliens and UFOs or ghosts, spirits, you know, things of that nature, especially ghosts. But one thing I do like is Dulce. However you say it. I like this mountain. There's a lot of weirdness going on in the mountain of Dulce. Or is that what it is? During the summer of 1995, Phil Schneider gave a series of lectures across the United States about the dangers of what he went through underground. He had that alien battle, remember? And he lost his fingers, you know, and he had that big scar in his chest. By the way, when he lost his fingers and the scar in his chest, I think that came from some accident he was in. But anyway, I always thought Phil Schneider was an interesting story nonetheless. It sounded like a legitimate story. This guy is being lowered in a bucket. You know, he was one of these guys, I think he was like an inspector of some sort. And they lowered him in underground, and then he wound up in a tunnel, an underground base, maybe a dome. And he saw aliens. So he starts shooting them. He just starts shooting. No, they didn't draw their weapons at him as the story goes. Matter of fact, I'm going to play the story. He started shooting first. He started that war. He got what he deserved. Phil Schneider is a murdering alien, man. He's a murderer. He's something. He is something, that's for damn sure. Anyway, this is a little story. This is like the part where Phil Schneider got involved and this is about Dulce. That is how you say it if you're speaking in Spanish. Ready?
Of 1995, Phil Schneider gave a series of lectures across the United States.
I mean, we all know the story, right? You all know it. He got lowered in a bucket. This is from Bedtime Stories, by the way. Really great channel if you like this kind of stuff.
Put shelter behind an equipment crate of sufficient size. The lieutenant now tried to take stock of the situation.
This is part 2. We don't need to play part 1.
At least 3 members of his platoon were gone, their bodies charred beyond all recognition, following exposure to the horrific weaponry employed by their opponents. Despite this, they had managed to push the enemy. 4 of his team members were sheltering behind another crate. He began to issue a series of orders using hand signals. Moments later, the pair were up on their feet and heading towards the looming metal door, each tightly clutching a satchel charge. Their intention was clear. But before they could reach their objective, the door suddenly sprung wide open. A skeletal figure materialized from the darkness within, followed by a terrifying bright blue energy discharge from its weapon. The 2 soldiers did not even have time to cry out, as their bodies were engulfed in a ball of brilliant blue flame. Almost immediately, an infantryman further down the corridor, operating the platoon's M60 heavy machine gun, opened fire, shredding the attacker with a steady hail of gunfire. More soldiers then ran forwards, snatching up the discarded satchel charges and priming them, before hurling them in through the open doorway. There was an enormous explosion, immediately followed by a shower of dust and debris as the stairwell caved in, preventing their enemy from accessing this floor or any others which lay above them.
Capiche?
Leaving 2 of his men to cover the collapsed structure, the lieutenant and the remainder of his...
Yeah. I could do this all day. Yep. Army trucks arrived, discharging several more squads of shoulders? Yeah, wearing black uniforms. They had people in them, who hurried towards the corridors from which he and his men had just emerged. Turning to his commanding officer, he abruptly inquired as to what was taking place, who this unit were, and why they were there now, heading underground towards the lower levels. Snoopy, Charlie, and Pigpen were all murdered, as Lucy and Snoopy found their way to the top ground. They embraced each other, made love right there in front of everybody. Nobody cared. They were just happy to be alive. Woman and mutt. Lucy grabbed hold of Snoopy's snout, and she put it deep within... Never mind, it's another story for another time. Back to this. curtly dismissed, he and his fellow Navy SEALs could only watch on as the mysterious soldiers continued to head deeper into the base, where so many U.S. soldiers had already lost their lives in an effort to contain the marauding extraterrestrial threat. Marauding. And then comes Big Ben. There he is, square jaw, blonde hair, and all 10 fingers. This guy's ready for action. During the summer of '95, Phil Schneider gave a series of lectures across the United States in which he went to great pains to highlight to his audience the dangers of what he was doing. I think that's Phil Schneider messaging me now from the past. He spoke of the murder of his close friend, which he alleged had been made to look like a suicide. Then he related various attempts on his own life and threats to harm his family in an effort to stop him from sharing confidential military secrets with the public. I'm doing all 3 accents at once. But Schneider explained that his love for his country superseded any thoughts for his personal safety, that the American people had the right to know the potential dangers which their government was hiding from them. Phil Schneider, the man, the myth, the legend. Legend. Well, you spell it with L-E-G. Why isn't it legend? Phil Schneider's a funny guy because I want to believe his story so badly. And there's a lot of evidence that shows there's some weirdness going on with this guy's death and life. But then on the debunking side of it, I can see how, people misconstrued things or made things up or assumed what they knew, So I'm really not sure. I honestly think Phil Schneider did see aliens. No, I don't know. God, I hate to say it. Aussie Tiger, what the? Is that orange? That looks a rustic $30. My God, thank you very much. Hey, thanks, I appreciate it. That's like a mucho gusto generoso right there, Appreciate that. You know what? You need one. We got to celebrate that one. That's a good one. It's a good one. Oh, I hit the wrong one, but that's okay. Truthology. What the? I messed it up again. It's Truthology for Ufology, but that's the wrong one. No. Thank you, Aussie Tiger, for your $30.99 support. I gotta make some new ones up. Thank you, brother. Mucho gusto, el generoso. Phil Schneider. I know, I don't know what I'm doing. So stupid. But Phil Schneider has one hell of a story. Apparently, his death certificate or his autopsy or his drug, whatever they did on his death, all that shit went missing, according to his sister, family, friends. Very strange case. Very strange case. Hold on. I ordered a new battery today for the drone. Because all 3 batteries, they all blew up. They all got fat and cracked. Yeah. So I bought one a few months ago, and then I saved up and I had to buy it. I only need 2 batteries. I don't ever fly for more than 30 minutes anyway, but you need at least 2 batteries for an hour of flying. All right. It's a long time, believe it or not. You'd think it isn't, but it is. But Phil Schneider went around the world, well, the United States, and was talking about how he came in contact with aliens. Now, yesterday I was playing a video, and I want to continue a little bit more just for the entertainment purposes of playing this whistleblower video that I got yesterday or the day before, because I like to see if I can catch them lying or check out their body language and do that stuff. I also think their stories are fascinating. There's nothing better than a whistleblower story. I have a question for you. Out of all the whistleblowers that have come forward, except for the Linda Moulton Howe Spartan 1 and Spartan 2 whistleblowers, you never see more than one whistleblower at the same time telling their story. It's usually just one guy on his deathbed or something or another. Right? Can't corroborate it. There's nobody there going, I was there, it was true, I was there. Because usually it's hard to find two people on their deathbed at the same time. Capiche? What is this? You know? And I just think it's hilarious how people lie, make up stuff, and it's obvious. You can see it when they talk. Shell shock? What did you just do? Oh, wow, 420. Shell shock throwing down $4.20 on the Cash App. That's right, PayPal and Cash App, as well as Super Chat, Super Sticker. Thank you very much for that. Shell shock. I got to make one up for like the regulars. You know, I should do that. And then shell shock. But I need the folders. I think I got them. I think I can do it. Have some but if I make special ones, I got to make them for everybody. So that's why. Maybe I will. Someday. I'll never do it. Thank you, Shell Shock. You're a continuing supporter of GoofOn and a very good person to the show. And I can't sit still tonight. I can't sit still. I'm all over the place in my chair. It's a weird night. It's a weird night. So I'm going to continue off from yesterday, because yesterday I stopped playing because I played quite a bit of this. Was it yesterday? I just like looking at this stuff, and it's fun. It's fun for me. Ready? You want to see the old man just lie his ass off again? You can tell this guy isn't even saying anything, and it looks like he's lying. Have you ever seen people that they just look like liars? This guy looks like he's sitting on a toy and enjoying the night or day.
So was it possible that people thousands and thousands of years ago, that they were more advanced than us? I don't know. But all you know is I've recorded and I've seen so much out there.
Oh man, I can't believe it. I can't believe the eye. Oh, watch that eye when he says, I've recorded. It's a really good looking eye. Because oh shit.
And there are so many other experiments that they were working on.
I don't know where I am.
Possible
I
that
blew it.
Premise, you need a starting point. Of course, is the rockets that Braun and his team built. Okay.
I blew it.
And again, I want to know, where did he get the knowledge from? Mathematicians will say, well, it's pure math. Again, yeah, but you need a premise. You need a starting point. I get that, but you need a starting point. Okay. How did he find, who told him what to do? And I asked that question of other scientists, and I've been told that the Germans had uncovered in Egypt, out of one of the pyramids, that they had recovered the knowledge that was used for Braun's formula to escape our atmosphere. So was it possible that people thousands and thousands of years ago, that they were more advanced than us? I don't know. But all you know is I've recorded and I've seen so much out there.
Did you see the eye? I've recorded so much out there, and then he blinks like Blinky Sue. He can't control his blinking. His eye shuts down. This guy does not like what he's saying about himself. Come on, Rich! Oh, I swear, after today, I'm going to have a meeting with myself. Here we go.
But all you know is I've recorded and I've seen so much out there, and it makes us question. And I've always told people...
And he does this a lot. You know, it's like this guy's licking his chops like he just smoked a bowl. Come on, Licky.
Well, you know, I'm curious. You know, all I want is the answer. But again, we may never get
And this sounds like he's bullshitting. It just, this guy's a jag-off.
the answer.
Were you ever familiar with technology that was similar to what you're discussing, that we could make cloaking devices, manipulate electromagnetic fields, use sound vibrations? Were you ever familiar with the type of technology that could be used to photograph the past? Anything that could be used to send a sort of lightning bolt ballistic flash, as it's been called, to capture scenes that have passed?
I've seen and recorded experiments, and probably, but I was also privy to...
I've seen and recorded events, probably. What? What? Hold on, I gotta hear this again.
That have passed?
I've seen and recorded experiments, and probably, but I was also privy...
What? I've seen and recorded events, probably. What? What does that mean? Am I not hearing this right?
Experiments, and probably to an experiment that utilizes not
I swear I'm
absolutely
gonna hurt
lightning, but a
myself.
high energy pulse.
That have passed?
I've seen and recorded experiments, and probably, but I was also privy to an experiment that utilized...
See the hands? He's really freaking lying his asshole off.
Utilizes not absolutely lightning, but a high energy pulse, okay? It's triggered the strobe light. So they're triggering these high energy pulses, all right? It's actually creating sort of it's allowing this window to open up. Okay?
Yes.
Now, this also ties into what the CERN
Here we go.
is doing or did, okay? And very, very little people, you know, the CERN's a whole different topic, but
But, you know, I'm a whistleblower. I've got information on everything. You ask, I know. Tell me. What do you want to know? CERN? Sure, why not?
later on in your interviews, you're going to be interviewing an individual who has a lot of knowledge about the CERN, the Bible, and all these things, how they all tie together, okay? But in a nutshell, we have that technology. If we have the technology to split an atom, you know, who's to say what we have and don't have, you know?
Oh, God, this guy is as dumb as the day is short. Huh? That it doesn't make sense what he's saying. Nothing makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it isn't true. I can't do that anymore. I've wasted my time long enough. Your time? You chose to be here. I have to be here. All right, I'm kidding. All right, that was weird. That guy's weird. I tell you, I got to loosen up. You know, it's been a while since we loosened up. I just need to do this. And excuse me, but it's time. It's been a while. Come on, everybody! I feel better. All right. There we go. I had it on the little screen. That's too bad. All right. We got to get up and jiggy a little bit every now and then with it's the Gomez dance. I got to get myself up and stand every now and then. All right. I think I pulled my back. I think I pulled my back muscle. I'm really sore. Oh. I can't believe how much I haven't done yet. We've got so much to talk about. All right, let's just go through this and get it over with. Right, let's do this. Where is it? Yeah, this is how I used to see aliens when I was a kid. We used to get them on TV too in the 80s. And, every now and then we'd see Al Bundy, have some fun with the aliens. Nothing wrong with seeing Al getting jiggy with some alien. They did his feet. That was the aliens in my life. Al Bundy, he really he says, "Welcome to Montana. You'll love it here." And then that's the picture. Very good. Moonlicht, is he here? Put a tweet out about Mick West. Well, responding or talking to Mick West's comment. Mick West always trying to stay relevant in the field. He says, Mick West does, "It's odd that UFO enthusiasts complain about the negative connotations associated with aliens, because what they offer as alternatives seems a lot weirder." And here we go. So potentially, this is from Adam Stephen Goldsack, by the way. Potentially, the phenomena might be made up from various extraterrestrials and ultra-terrestrials, all coming from another universe or another world, galaxy, or dimension across varying timelines. Maybe they are future humans or alternative universe humans. We don't know. And we don't know that we don't know. What I would continue to postulate is that the anomalous phenomena are a multitude of possibilities and considerations from the following: ultra-terrestrials, 2, multiverse, 3, interdimensional, 4, ultra-terrestrial, 5, consciousness, 6, quantum anomalous nexus. This was by Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, Those Who Changed the World by Adam Stephen Goldsack. Wow, I gotta tell you, all the people in this field that try to guess what this phenomena is, I gotta say, I never would have thought of an ultra, multiverse, extraterrestrial, interdimensional consciousness, quantum anomalous nexus alien. Never would have thought about that. But Moonlicht says, "Am I to infer from your post that aliens are merely the Frankenstein's monster of my subconscious? Please assist before my meds kick in, Mick. Mick West, always throwing it down." See, Mick West just got into the field. Mick West, he's only been around, 3 to 5 years? He doesn't know He doesn't know. He now is just getting into it. Same with UFO Jesus. Same with him. It took him 5 years to get it. That's what I was talking about yesterday. UFO Twitter seems to be getting the narrative that we have been talking about for 5 years. You can't trust anything the government says, does, or says and does. Can't trust them. You just can't. And Lou is the government. All those people in TTSA, because that's where all these people came from. They followed TTSA. And then, Shithead came along. And then Shithead left TTSA, and TTSA split up. Shithead did his own show. Shithead's going out telling everybody he's a remote viewer psychic that can read your future. And then we see we see Shithead and Numbnuts out there kissing each other on Twitter yesterday or the day before. I thought Shithead and Numbnuts didn't like each other. Shithead's Lou Elizondo. Numbnuts is the guy who, I can't remember his name, who wrote those things about Lou. Who was that guy? One of his buddies. Not Sean Cahill, the other one, the tall one. The guy with the beard. What's his name? You can say that. I can call Lou a shithead because he's a shithead. He's lying to us about everything. Everything. Yes, every lie has truth in it. He's got, hey, if somebody sees him in Washington, he can't say he's in Alaska. You know, he's not going to lie about something you can obviously debunk or see, you know, obviously with your eyes or see or hear or whatever. Let's just move on. I've got too much to go on tonight. What's this? I don't know. I think I'll save that tomorrow. All right, Stephen Greenstreet, you know, the New York Post guy from, what's that show that he has? The Basement Tapes with Nick Popesicle. Yeah. He tweeted, this is about Travis Taylor, and I'm not surprised at this, but I am a little bit. That, here, just take a look at what's been said. This is from Travis Taylor replying to Nick Pope. Unfortunately, Nick Pope, Greenstreet is full of crap. It is clear his article video was fed by a faction of folks wanting us all to believe in swamp gas and drones. Will Smith said it best. Some light reflected of Venus and what? And then he says here, Greenstreet replied to that today. I mean, this is going on between the people that are in mainstream media and the New York Post. This is what's going on in ufology. And I'm the problem. And I'm the problem. Look at the problem. So Greenstreet chimes back and he says, regarding my reporting, Travis Taylor has stated that I am full of crap and accused me of being paid by Men in Black to push a skeptical UFO narrative. Taylor has declined multiple invitations to speak to me and back up these wild claims. Look at this. Travis Taylor also saying, basically, Middle of Mayhem, who is Greenstreet, has no idea what he's talking about. Unbelievable. Travis Taylor is doing this in a public forum. Travis Taylor also says he has no idea what he's talking about. Then Greenstreet says, then educate me. Tell me where I'm wrong. Be specific. Act like a PhD instead of a reality TV co-star. Beautiful. Beautiful, Stephen Greenstreet. God dang it, I love that stuff. Thank you for sticking up for yourself like that. Don't let these people push you around, man. They're just on TV. They're nobody, just like me. Nobody. We're all somebody, but in the grand scheme of things, we're nobody. Right? I like to think I'm a nobody. Yeah. You know why? Because the expectations aren't as high. Yeah. I aim low. If I get higher, it's good for me. I don't know, man. Huh. Oh, shit. There's a couple of, well, this is interesting. Hold on. Nathan Allen sent me another PayPal, but that's not what concerns me. It says, thank you, Nathan, by the way. It says, I saw aliens at a Comic-Con. Remember my non-human report from Indianapolis convention? Aliens cosplaying as humans? Yeah. You did. Nathan, thank you very much for the super duper PayPal. And, oh, who's this? Aussie Tiger throwing down $20 in 2022. Very interesting. Thank you. Says here, just try and help you out as much as I can. Thank you so much. Yeah, it does help. Like you wouldn't believe. Thank you very much. Aussie Tiger throwing it down and Nathan Allen doubling it up. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And then there's another thing here. It says e-check, payment in process. Funds are on the way. It usually takes 3 to 5 days for an e-check payment to clear. Oh, that's connected to Aussie Tigers because you're from another country. That's okay. It'll go through. It always does. And I believe I take up the fees now on the PayPal, right? You don't have to pay for those fees. Right. I think that comes out of my I think I switched it so you guys don't pay it. Thank you very much. Mucho gusto generoso, guys. All right. So I wanted to stay with this a little bit longer because there's a couple of videos I want to show you. Ufology is a fickle friend. Is that, did I say that right? Fickle? Is it a tickle? Look at Travis.
I got to tell you, what
now let me tell you something.
You talked about Stephen Greenstreet and John Greenwald. A lot of these guys are like professional skeptics who are. It seems like an organized effort. Do you think that is an organized effort? I mean,
okay, first of all, Stephen Greenstreet is not a professional debunker. Hello, Raymond Lawrence. Jackie Radford's here. How you guys doing? Ventrilo, I saw you. Yeah. Larky Derry's here. Lunar Sparkles 1. Jammer Travels. I know I saw you earlier. Thanks for hanging out, guys. All right, let's listen to this and then see if we need to comment.
There's you mentioned that the thing, people getting paid. I mean, what do you think about that?
I got to tell you, what is driving these just hardcore crazy skeptics?
Because you lie!
And I don't mean scientific skepticism. You have to have scientific skepticism, and you can't have cancel culture of the scientists that are skeptical, right? Or that are non-skeptical, because that's the scientific method. Everybody's got one individual will make a mistake in the math somewhere. Somebody always makes mistakes, but that's why you publish the work so people can find those mistakes and we can move forward and correct it and get it better and better and better.
Yeah.
But simply to start out from the beginning saying there's no such thing as UFOs, no such thing as aliens, no such thing as any unusual events. They're all drones, balloons, and swamp gas. To start out with that, that's not scientific at all.
Do you see how they changed the narrative? He's changing it. He's changing it to make it look like we're the freaking idiots. Actually, he's wrong. Because we were patient with Skinwalker Ranch. And the evidence that they've provided, now I can only go by what Travis has been doing lately, which is the Skinwalker Ranch. And I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about because this guy doesn't go around hunting UFOs at all. But the evidence they provided doesn't show proof of anything. Nothing at all. Actually, a lot of their stuff, if not all of it, has been debunked on that show. So you want to turn it around and say, oh, we don't believe in it. That's not true. We believe there's aliens, there's alien technology. We believe it. We just don't believe you, Travis. We don't believe all the bullshit that has come from that show as evidence. And then they blame it on, when the evidence is blurry or things don't work out, they blame it on the ranch. God forbid they look inward and say, what did we do wrong? Why did the power go out? Why is this shot blurry? Why am I not getting this in frame? That's all human error. You guys are failing. Not the equipment, not the ranch. And people don't believe people who do shitty and shoddy work. And that's what you bring, Travis. You bring 8th grade. They bring 8th grade experiments to the field when they're doing their shit. And we're going to drop little things. They dropped them out of the airplane, right? There was like 50 of them. And then they said 48 of them disappeared. They vanished, went into a vortex. And they only found 2 that landed in that area. Landed in the place they were dropping. It's the dumbest thing I ever saw. Everything they do is basically 8th grade science experiments. That's all we have in ufology, though. What else can we do? What else? All we can do is laser pointers, rockets, drones, balloons. What else can we send up in the sky to spy on the UFOs we think we're seeing? And/or portals. Their thing is, they think they're going to find a portal in the sky above the ranch between 1 and 5,000 feet. Man, I laugh at them because everything they do turns to shit. It's the Lou Elizondo experiment. Everything Lou touches turns to shit.
Yeah. That's just saying for some reason that it can't be UFOs or whatever. And what's driving that? Is there a cultural stigma or a religious stigma? Is there a group of people that are somehow invested in there not being true scientific rigor to this problem? I don't know the answer to it, but man, it sure does seem like some of these guys, like Greenstreet, for example, have a motivation that's more than just a personal motivation.
That's bullshit. That's not true at all. Then you could say that about me. And that's all. It's all about getting to the truth. It's all about seeing through the bullshit. It has nothing to do with any personal agenda. Like, I don't talk about Jeremy Corbell or him or Lou Elizondo because I think it's going to bring me subs and views. I talk about it because, number one, it's interesting. Number two, they're the mainstream people in the field. They're the ones that are getting the spotlight. They're the ones that are representing us. And I don't like what I see, so I'm going to talk about them. And Greenstreet doesn't like it either. And we all have agendas. How can you say nobody has an agenda? What do? Just wake up and, people have agendas. My agenda is to put on, somewhat entertaining show for you. Talk about ufology. Try to teach what I know and learn from what you know. It's a give and take. And Travis, unfortunately, has only been in the field for a couple of years. He doesn't know anything. He only knows what he's being told to. He doesn't know shit. And he has grown an ego. That guy. He has definitely grown an ego. It kind of reminds me almost like Ziegfugel. Yeah, kind of like that. He kind of reminds me, he's got that arrogance about him now, that he can't do anything wrong. Hey, why did that go there? That's weird. Huh. There it is. I think there was more. Yeah, here's another one.
Behind this group of people, what is the motivation behind this group of people that want to viciously attack, debunk, and cancel?
Yeah.
Is there a shadow group behind the curtain that's driving this, paying this, funding this, putting the energy behind it? That seems like conspiracy theory stuff, but it's too orchestrated and it's too much.
It's not orchestrated. There's nothing You see what I mean? They try to make it out to be like this is some dynamic group that has an agenda, that has a plan, and there is none. There's no plan. People are doing things on their own. Nobody's paying me. Like I was, you heard earlier in the year that Elizondo thought that Greer was paying me and Third Phase and other people to talk badly about him. That is a leftist way of thinking. And I'm sorry to say that to some of you who were on the left. It doesn't apply to everybody, but that's something somebody on the left would think. It's true. That's their agenda, is to bring their political views and their political agenda into ufology. And they're doing it, and they're winning. And this is why people are so angry at GoofOn, I guess, because I don't follow what they follow, I guess. But like I said earlier in the show and yesterday, I think people are turning around and they're starting to get it. They're starting to see that it isn't what they thought it was for the last 5 years. That's all I want people to see. Look, these guys are a bunch of bullshitters. They only care about themselves, their agenda. What's his agenda? Travis, what's your agenda? You've got an agenda, brother, and that's to make money being on TV. He doesn't have a passion. I want people with passionate love for the field they're in. I want somebody who's extremely into the field, not somebody who's paid to be in the field and they're doing it because that's their job. That's Lou Elizondo. That's Travis. That's Gary P. Nolan, and the P isn't for professor. You know what I mean? All right, is there another video? I think there's 3, right? Here it is, last one.
Personal crew. Well, I can tell you, I'm not going to talk about our...
Oh, that's right, I didn't finish the other one. Not that it matters.
Behind this group of people that want to viciously attack, debunk, and cancel.
Yeah.
Is there a shadow group behind the curtain that's driving this, paying this, funding this, putting the energy behind it? That seems like conspiracy theory stuff, but you know, it's too orchestrated and it's too much. It's so odd.
And it happens so consistently with these guys.
Who, by the way? Who's orchestrated to be the skeptics? Who is he talking about? Green Street? Just because he's with the NYT? Because he writes for the Post? Because he has a show? He's the only one? Who else is he talking about? See, that's the problem that these guys bring when they talk about this shit. They never talk about who they're talking about. They never mention the name of the people. Who? Travis, I want to know who is being paid. Who is part of a group that you think wants to go against everything you're doing? Who? I want to know if I'm involved. I want to know if I'm one of the people. That's why. I want to know. I want to know who else is part of this crew, part of this group that doesn't like your narrative. Who? Who are these people? Who are these people?
Now, and I'll tell you, I'm not a conspiracy theory believer. In fact, conspiracies are illegal in our Constitution.
Oh my God!
So if we find, you know, some shadow organization or some Men in Black or whatever, then they're breaking the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to find them and bring them to justice. I think. What is the motivation behind this group?
Unbelievable. You know? Unbelievable. Last one.
I'll tell you, I'm not going to talk about our personal crew, but I'll talk about a person that nobody knows who it is. So Axelrod booked the Skinwalker from the Pentagon. I know Axelrod well. I know who it is. So when he left during the Bigelow era and went home, he's been terrorized with hitchhikers since, and they've affected one of his children and his wife, and it's even affected so much that one of his neighbors was actually exposed to an orb, and the orb actually flew through her. And that's the story. I don't know, other than I trust the guy. I don't know if I believe, I know that he believes all this happened. Let me just put that one, right? And I have put sensors in his house, and then I do get weird signals when they claim things happen. But and this orb, when it passed through this neighbor, made her very sick, and actually had to have like cancer.
You know what? I couldn't hear pretty much, even though I have the headphones on. I didn't want to struggle, but I couldn't help but wondering, what the frig is he have in his pockets here? It looks like he's got something here, but in this pocket, look at this pocket over here. He's got maybe the battery pack in there for the, I mean, there's some serious bulging going on there. And his shoes. Yeah, he buys $40 sneakers. It's always nice to look at the apparel of people, you know. If you noticed, the people in ufology. No, this isn't a joke. This is the truth. These people who are on mainstream media all wear the same type of clothing. Have you noticed? It's true. They all wear this type of, these gray, drab colors. Nobody ever wears any bright blues or reds. They're always wearing liberal gray or dark colors. You know, the color of darkness. I can't listen to him anymore. What we've got here, you know you're a redneck. That's who he is. That's Travis. You know you're a redneck if you go to Skinwalker Ranch and your shadow is the Skinwalker. You know you're a... What do they call those people who believe in... it doesn't matter. All right. UFO disclosure. I know you want the update, so I'm going to give it to you. This is what's going on with the UFO update. Why we don't have... I just want you to hear from an expert why we don't have the report. I can't speak.
On the 16th, Linda Moulton Howe had plasma physicist John E. Brandenburg, PhD, on her show. He discussed evidence of ancient thermonuclear explosions on Mars, and also did so at the recent 25th Mars Society International Convention that was held from October 20th to the 23rd at the University of Arizona, Tempe. Brandenburg asserted high levels of xenon-129 and other radioactive isotopes on Mars were created by not one, but probably two hydrogen bombs that exploded nearly 180 million years ago above the Cydonia region in the northern hemisphere of Mars.
You know, when Linda Moulton Howe talks, people listen, and I don't understand it. They're talking about Mars being bombed with a hydrogen bomb 180, what was it, 1,000 years ago? Come on, man. But this is what makes ufology go round. Stories like that. All sorts of stories we can't prove doesn't mean they're not happening. Yeah, they could be real. That Mars stuff that guy was talking about on Linda Moulton Howe's show has been spoken about for decades, all this shit. But it's just funny to hear people talking about it as if it's brand new information.
3.7 billion years ago, Mars is believed to have been a watery planet based on NASA's scientific evidence. And then later it became, as it stands today, a red desert planet. One thing significant about that is it's very feasible that biological life evolved on Mars, and it's possible that 180 million years ago, as Brandenburg believes, a nuclear holocaust ensued.
That is such a human thing to do, right? To humanize what we think happened to Mars because now it's a dust bowl. Oh, it must have been nuclear. It had to have been. That's what we do. We blow shit up. Of course it's a nuclear blast. A meteorite? Or an asteroid hitting Mars? Science fiction. It was bombs, people. Bombs did that to Mars. Shut the front door. You know? It's like, come on, man. Where do you get this evidence from? Well, the isotopes on the planet said there was some sort of explosion of the nuclear content, and that's what we're going by. To think that there would be that civilizations that were on Mars and they bombed Mars and it turned it into, that's what they think is going to happen to the Earth. It's the old, oh, we shoot off all of our nukes, we're going to turn to Mars idea. That's all that is. People coming up with all sorts of theories. UFO Jesus sucking it up like it's the second coming of Christ. Or third. I got a call from LA, and when I picked it up, the voice said, "Hi, Terry, it's Tom DeLonge." Lovelace recalls. I knew of him because my daughter had organized some of his music for her wedding. So I said, "How are you?" And he said, "Fine." Then he said, "Look, I'm here with General McCaslin and Lou Elizondo, and we want to talk to you about this thing in your leg." And this thing in Lovelace's leg they wanted to talk about, long story, he has no idea when or how it got there, but the setup goes like this. Oh, Jesus, man, I think I'm going to read all that.
And get right into another portion of his article. But the book draws its title from what happened in June 1977 at an Arkansas state park, Devil's Den, just across the Missouri border. Lovelace and Toby knock off work, pile into the car, take a long hike,
pitch a tent in a meadow, kindle a fire pit, and get subjected to an extended UFO abduction event after nightfall. Recollections include a massive triangular craft that throws blue and white light beams onto the ground. Occupants bustling outside their tent, getting literally beamed back up. White or stainless steel interiors inside a space so vast and surreal it includes 3 parked flying saucers and 50 to 60 humans decked out in tan uniforms with red or orange insignias operating alongside the child-sized crew. Sick, nauseous, and insanely thirsty, upon awakening in their tent, the 2 off-duty airmen flee in the dark like scared little boys, abandoning their gear for discovery by park rangers the next day. Lovelace's eyes stung as if I stared at the sun. Angry red sores erupt from head to toe, and his body turns beet red as if sunburned, even his armpits. Suffering from a 104-degree fever, Lovelace is hospitalized, as is Toby, whose symptoms are similar. The ordeal concludes with an exhaustive grilling by a U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigation. Its lead agent injects him with an unknown drug, leads him through hypnotic regression, and orders him to shut up about everything. Toby is promptly reassigned to another base. The 2 never see each other again, and, according to Lovelace, Toby eventually succumbed to alcoholism. Residual trauma revisits Lovelace in the nightmares and even in the bedroom he shares with his wife of 26 years.
Tent in a meadow, kindle a fire pit, white or stainless like scared little boys, unknown drug have suffered, states former ATIP manager Elizondo. Biological effects are a potential serious aspect of what we studied in ATIP, and we now know that certain elements with the U.S. government are equally concerned as we were. If Terry is suffering any medical consequences as a result of an alleged encounter with a UAP while...
It is my experience that helicopters of unknown utility have been reported by certain individuals. It is not yet known if this is some sort of intentional harassment or simply a matter of being near a congested flight corridor. Obviously, flying a helicopter is expensive and logistically intense if this were some sort of campaign to intimidate individuals on a regular basis. We would need to do additional research to better determine the nature of these incidents, he added, before making any sort of proclamation.
Serving the military.
I don't know what
from
the hell's
Truman
going
on down.
Does anybody know what's going on? Does anybody know what's going on? We're talking about people getting hurt by alien technology, but I don't know. I skipped around because, you know. Yeah. Last year, the U.S. government recently released UFO footage. To help us dissect the images and explain what we see in the monitors, Wired reached out to Andrea Thiemle, former Air Force colonel. Thiemle explains why this phenomena is so unique. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Giddy up.
The Pentagon's report on UFOs, or UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, was released to Congress, and a big takeaway is many of the anomalous objects that appear in the report remain unidentified. To understand why experts and pilots remain baffled, we spoke to veteran pilot Andrea Thiemle.
I am currently a pilot for a major airline flying 737s, and I was previously a colonel in the Air Force. I flew the F-15C Eagle, the T-38 Talon, and the T-6 Texan too, and I was an instructor in all three of those airframes. Ultimately, pilots seem to be the ones who are seeing a lot of these objects because they are out over the ocean flying.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
I can't imagine being in their shoes and seeing what they saw. I think it would be terrifying to not know what this object was.
It's rotating.
Colonel Thiemle is going to walk us through videos of unidentified aerial phenomena and explain the traits that make them unidentifiable from a physics and aerodynamics perspective. Let's unpack the first trait, anti-gravity.
The acorn shape, pyramid shape, and the spherical shape, they seem to overcome gravity without any visible propulsion or any airfoils that provide lift. Or
What are we doing here? She's gonna tell us how to figure out if something's a UFO? All right, it's hovering.
We would traditionally call a wing. Since the dawn of aviation on Earth, which has been about 120 years now, normally lift is produced when an aircraft increases speed. The air goes over the top of the wing and the bottom of the wing and meets at the end of the wing at the same time. But because the top of the wing is a different size than the bottom, it's going to create a negative pressure because it's traveling faster, and it essentially sucks the wing and the rest of the aircraft into that negative pressure area, and that's what we refer to as lift.
Okay, so the unidentified aerial phenomena don't appear to have recognizable wings for lift. But what about their propulsion?
I'm watching the gimbal video. This was filmed in 2015, and as you can see at the top, it's using the infrared sensor, and that is depicted by the IR at the top of the screen there. The pod has multiple sensors. It has both an electro-optical sensor and an infrared sensor to detect targets. What's noticeable is that there's no visible infrared exhaust plume coming from this object, and that indicates no source of propulsion as we know it. Where you see WHT, which stands for white hot. So the cooler heat signatures will appear as black, and the hottest targets are going to be displayed.
All right. I don't think we need a lesson to figure out. Huh. Oh, wow. There were aliens trying to get through. See? There we go. That's as good as I can do. I have so much more to go over, but I don't have enough time. All right, let's... I want you to watch this video real quick. This is really cool. It has nothing to do with UFOs. It has to do with survival. And... This could have gone very badly for this guy. It's just interesting. That's all. Nothing major.
Get back.
Jesus, that guy's got a good shot, man. He was close to that thing. Did you see the way that tiger or whatever it is, mountain lion, was charging at him? How did it... That guy shot very quickly, by the way. How he knew, man, he could tell that that thing was about to pounce on him. That was crazy. I couldn't believe when I saw that today. That guy got so close to shooting it. Very strange. Here, have you ever heard of the sheep circle theory? You never heard of a sheep circle? Anybody? Well, Into Thin Air has, and made a really funny video, not funny, but interesting video about this. I've seen this before, but maybe you haven't. Not his video, but this sheeps in a circle.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this head cold. I am convinced I'm going to be sick forever, so we're just going to make a video anyway, and I'm just going to sound weird. Anyway, if you have not heard about it, you're going to hear about it now, but hundreds of sheep walking in a circle in Mongolia, China, specifically Baotao, China, which is a small village within Mongolia, and this is how it all began. A flock of sheep have been walking in a circle for the last 12 days in Mongolia. In the clip, hundreds of sheep circled a spot in a farm together while other sheep surrounding them seemed unfazed. Now, with every weird story that goes on in this world, there are very weird theories that get thrown out there, and some of them have to do with an infection, specifically the one called circling disease, which can cause infected animals to lean against stationary objects and basically walk in a circle. I don't think that's what's going on here because there's nothing that they're leaning on. It seems like they're herding in a circle, but almost following each other. Like, I've seen sheep herding in circles before, but they're all grouped together and it's a big mess, but the overall shape is a circle, but I've never seen anything quite like this. Now, I do have a theory on this that I'm going to get to in a minute, but I want to tell you what's going on as far as the mainstream media theories. Like I said, the first one was a disease, and then we have this one here, actually, where a potential explanation has been shared by a guy named Matt Bell. He's a professor and a director at the Department of Agriculture at Hartpury University in England, and he thinks that the sheep are in their pens for so long that they're so used to walking in circles that this is what caused this weird phenomena of these sheep walking in almost a perfect circle. Again, it's possible, but I really don't think that's the cause. Sheep will herd in circles or a circle formation, but they're all mixed up. They're all over the place within that circle. They never walk in this weird straight line that almost looks like a rim of sheep. And as of now, that is the latest article coming from Newsweek about this topic altogether. So a few things I want to point out that I think may also be responsible for what's going on here is something to do with the Earth and the Earth's energy. Now, right off the bat, if you go to Asia on the USGS, and we'll zoom in a little bit, here's Mongolia, and just 4 days prior, if you click on 30 days, all magnitudes, just 4 days before this started, October 31st, you can see an earthquake took place, and you can see they named Baotao, China. It was 242 kilometers northwest of Baotao, but we all know earthquakes can be felt hundreds of miles away. But the fact that they specifically named Baotao, China is very interesting. There's not many earthquakes that take place here. In fact, Asia as a whole has been getting more earthquakes than usual that are above a 4.5, but this area specifically near southern Mongolia, very rare to get earthquakes here. That stuck out to me 4 days prior.
So could the Earth be making the internal mechanisms of sheep to have them walk around in circles? Could there be a vortex right underneath them or above them or both? See, I always had the theory with the ley lines that are in the Earth that when rocks are being pushed together, like in plate tectonics, you know how one piece of land goes under the other and the other one forms the mountains and the other one goes under. What is it, subcutaneous? Oh no, that's for injections. Subterranean? The subterrane. No, that's a machine. But I believe with all the pressure that these rocks can compound and push, and I think they're releasing energy, vortexes of energy that find their way around the Earth. Just like in Sedona, they say there are vortexes up there and they're numerous. I never really felt anything. I mean, there was one place that I went to which I got a little bit of disorientation, but nothing that made me feel like there was a vortex of energy around me, but people do feel it. And I'm wondering if that's what's happening with the sheep. Animals are more, I don't know if they're more connected, but I don't think animals think about much except eating, pooping, and eating, and sleeping, and pooping, and eating, and sex, and eating, and pooping. They don't think about much. So maybe they are more focused on the Earth's, I don't know, energy or electromagnetic field and all that stuff. The Earth is a very mysterious place. And being in the paranormal, I think there's more paranormal than normal stuff happening. It's just we can't see it, you know? And the things we do see, we try to record. And then when we look at the recordings, we say, not so fast. Yeah. See, that's what makes me sad. It's like we're trying. A lot of people are trying to catch this stuff. Spirit orbs, ball lightning or balls of light. Just so many different things that happen in the paranormal. Apparitions, poltergeist activity, cold breeze, or a warm breeze that comes from nowhere. So many different anomalous things that happen with the paranormal. Temperatures go up and down. You may feel like, disoriented. And man, I tell you, there's so many things we don't understand and don't see and don't understand. I'm so stupid today. I can't think. Somebody tweeted this. This one's for you. If you've been meditating in earnest for decades, but no ET contact, sorry, you're shit out of luck. You have to learn CC with each other, but forget that ETCC is the new black. If you don't meditate, you'll be unkind and loveless. That's in response to Anjali's tweet where she says, cast the net wider. Among those aware, you were asked to do one thing in preparation. Meditate. Meditate to prepare consciousness for contact. You must meditate, Anjali says. Meditation creates a higher resonant frequency within. Kindness, patience, empathy, love naturally flow. Prepare for conscious communication first and meta-fucking-tate. Anjali, I'm sorry, she said it, not me. Meditate. Meditation is awesome. But how come individuals all over the world have been doing it for decades, like myself, yet no ET contact? How come Anjali's first contact was while watching Netflix? And by the way, she was high on January 21st, 2018. When she had tunnel vision. Anjali had tunnel vision. Holy shnikey. That's a good show. I should put that for my next show. Anjali has tunnel vision. The jokes write themselves. You just... She didn't have an experience, guys. She imagined in her mind, this is something you do when you're 5 years old, which she's been doing since she was 4 years old. She has been thinking about little aliens and little Tinkerbells and fairies. She's been talking about this and writing it down since she was a child. all this stuff for Anjali, this is just like breathing for her. And over the last year, she has honed in on her bullshit skills. And now she's talking a little bit more confidently, if you haven't noticed. Man, I tell you, I gotta go, but it was a good time, nice hanging out. I want to thank the moderators and super chatters. Really, again, Coral Ann, Nathan, all you guys, Ozzy, everybody. Thank you for your help and support. Appreciate it. And the newcomers and the veterans, thanks for hanging out at the show. We just ask, see if you like the show for a few days. And don't forget to thumb up the show, too. You guys are forgetting to thumb up the show. We need 150 each show. Thumb it up. As soon as you get here, thumb it up. That's all. Yeah. Anyway. And we are... Oh! Truthology for ufology. I was going to say it. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday. Got a good one tomorrow. And don't forget, third phase of moon in about 25 minutes with Tim Burchett. That is something you don't want to miss. We'll see you next time here on Goof On tomorrow at the same time, same channel. And what do we say? What do we say? Alien blessed, that's right. Alien blessed.
Warning. Control life. Warning. Warning. Failure. Control life.